Home sweet home, Sherry.
One of the first things I saw when entering this house as a child. It's like déjà vu. Hey, this is the luggage we brought from London, isn't it?
And I was wondering why it's so empty in here.
There may be a small chance that some of our property could be found. Another one. There must be something important behind it. I can feel it. I remember how angry Mycroft was about these marks. He called it a frivolous, childish endeavor. Something did happen that day, but no one can tell us the details. How can that be?
Agreed. It's rather suspicious.
Another one. There must be something important behind it. I can feel it. I think our family portrait used to hang here. Another one. There must be something important behind it. I can feel it. This book, where I kept my collection of coins, it used to be bigger.
Oh, no. We won't let this stand, right, Sherry? I want to find my coins.
It's going to be difficult. The sands of time, you know? Some things may have changed, but you're right. We can't let Mycroft win.
you killed him!
I couldn't miss the party.
Don't bother moving. You've lost. Too simple.
The snuff's ready.
Just die.
Time to knock this guy out.
Hello there.
I'm coming.
Don't bother moving. You've lost.
I couldn't miss the party.
Hey, you could have kept him alive.
No more crime for you until next month.
The snuff's ready.
I'm coming for you.
Don't cry, you'll...
Give him the pepper snuff.
Take this.
It's all yours now. Go for it.
Take a rest, my friend.
The snuff's ready. We can overcome the brute now. No, you killed him.
I will end you.
Hey, you could have kept him alive. It's all yours now. Go for it. Don't give him the pepper snuff.
Mycroft's umbrella, the only outgoing thing in his wardrobe.
Another memory incoming, Sherry.
Strange, I struggle to recall anything about the day we moved in. The only detail I'm sure of is that it was raining early that morning.
Home sweet home, Sherry.
There was always a hat on our stand, but I'm sure it did not belong to Mycroft. This trip was a challenge for our mother. I tried to help her. Our mother brought a slew of belongings with her. She refused to leave a single thing in London. Mycroft had to spend the whole day dealing with it.
Do you feel it? Is it the air shimmering, or is it my imagination? You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Your neighbors will be told that Mrs. Holmes is suffering from tuberculosis. It is common to move closer to the sea in such cases.
Thank you, Dr. Richter. No, Sherlock, step away from her. Upstairs, go to your room.
Lean on me, Mother. Take your time.
Actually, I never heard her coughing. I remember now.
Oh, I feel dizzy. It's stuffy in here, isn't it?
John, are you all right?
I'll be okay in a minute. How about we find our room in the meantime?
Look at this. It's like traveling 10 years into the past with a single step. Oddly satisfying. Need to repeat this one day, but with bullets. One of John's first pictures. I think this was supposed to be Mycroft. He really has improved his skills since then. This brings back memories. We used this old diary to keep track of our adventures. I think it was my father's. John, do you think we can visit some of the places mentioned in the diary for old time's sake?
Why not? Nothing like a stroll down memory lane. Note down the places you'd like to visit, and I'll add what I remember
The
of.
first chemical laboratory I ever made. I almost miss its elegant simplicity.
Coal dust from Miner's End, sandy dirt from the old city. We scoured the island top to bottom for these soil samples.
Look at this, John. Remember how desperately I wanted to learn the violin? I never had a proper opportunity.
Such a shame. I always hated
The only
rule
fiction
about
book on
being
my table.
silent in this place.
I can still hear my mother reading it to me. Interesting. What's that over there? This doorknob has a cross-shaped end. Too intricate to be merely a handle.
You know what? That definitely looks like a key. Let's poke around and see if we
So
can
many
find any
pleasant evenings
secrets.
were spent here with the Encyclopedia Americana. A magnificent tool made for a spurious purpose, staring into the sky. I've definitely found
This
a better
time
use.
I was first to pick bed. You mean for spying on people?
Need to repeat this one day, but with bullets.
Oh, it reminds me of our neighbour. He had the same balloon in his yard, only bigger. Do you remember?
Yes, we visited him several times while living here. The first chemical laboratory I ever made. I almost miss its elegant simplicity. Oh, these must be the notes of my earliest observations. We wanted to locate a particular dog we'd spotted, and we met it, didn't we? I'll never forget how challenging it was to obtain this simple sketch. Need to repeat this one day, but with bullets. An artifact from Palau carved out of bone and claimed to be 300 years old. My mother proved it was a fake. My very favorite plaything. It was the perfect pirate treasure. Cannot believe all my toys are still here.
Hey, they were not just yours, they were half mine too. This time I was first to pick beds. This one's mine now. This time I was
I'll
first
never
to
forget
pick
how
beds.
challenging it
This
Need
one's
to repeat this
mine
one day,
now.
but with bullets.
Coal dust from Miner's End, sandy dirt from the old city. We scoured the island top to bottom for these. Soil samples. Nah, doesn't fit here.
Perfect match. My small archive of crime clippings. Maybe I should pick up this habit again. Made of cherry wood, Father's favourite. Still has a faint odor of tobacco, one of the few things on this island that smell like home.
I knew you'd find it in no time.
Oh, these must be the notes of my earliest observations. We wanted to locate a particular dog we'd spotted, and we met it, didn't we?
This time I was first to pick beds. This one's mine now.
Another one. There must be something important behind it. I can feel it.
I heard footsteps upstairs a second ago. Wait, do we have an attic here? Have to catch them all, right? I heard footsteps upstairs a second ago. Wait, do we have an attic here?
Another one. There must be something important behind it. I can feel it. Another one. There must be something important behind it. I can feel it.
Wasn't that neighbour missing a finger?
That does sound vaguely familiar. Wasn't his name, Theodore? Theodore Gilden, perhaps? wretch Goliath would murder us all. Mark my words. Destruction and trampled ground. Oof, a contortionist you were not. Disjointed vertebrae. Difficult to say if it was a way to start or finish him off. A belt from a dressing gown. Curious. A kneecap reduced to splinters. Kneecap reduced to splinters. Belt from a dressing gown. Curious. A belt from a dressing gown. Curious. Disjointed vertebrae. Difficult to say if it was a way to start or finish him off.
He was certainly under pressure. Poke the elephant with this? Really? People are hopeless.
A strong pull broke this leash. A pool of blood and saliva, possibly as a result of impact.
Sherlock, take a picture of the footprint. It's valuable evidence. This photograph can help us find the old article about the elephants. The front page was fascinating. It was hard to believe as a child.
True. We may need it in an amount of attention that most can only dream of. A kneecap reduced to splinters. Didn't we get to fly in it as children? I doubt it could hold my weight today. Hog heaven. A missing pinky, middle-aged. It's none other than Theodore Gilden.
Oh boy, Sherlock. Another death means another question.
And we shall answer the question. It's far too interesting to give it up to the police. A royal suite for a favourite pet.
Plenty of food to satisfy even the most fastidious. This is quite comfy.
A coal gas tank, enough to pump up an airship. A sailor's knife useful for cutting wet and thick ropes. It's seen a lot of use. The blade is worn from grinding. Fresh signs of impact. A rough landing led to an altercation with this shed. In a fit of rage, the elephant broke the chain and threw its victim on the ground with a fierce power. Escaping the scene, it pulled the body with it, but dropped it at the gate. At least some of this was witnessed by a third party who was hurled against the shed. The elephant can't have gone too far. I can still track it.
Well, suppose you find it. Then what? Push it all the way back to the manor?
Are you able to help me?
That's a question I can answer.
Hello. Look who's here.
The elephant barged into this cart of olive oil.
What if we're lucky and he slipped and fell somewhere along the way?
Excuse me, just one question.
It's funny when someone like you asks someone like me for help.
Can I ask you a question?
I'm afraid I don't know about it.
Oh, I am bored. Call me when you find the answer. Okay, hear me out. If an elephant falls in the forest and there's no one around to...
John, no.
Oh, you're such a killjoy.
Strange. It was hung with care. The game has escaped us for now. We'll find a solution to the elephant problem later.
It's as if a storm went through here.
Hog heaven. This young lady has a childish interest for her age. I can always recognize the spirit of a true artist.
You. Who are you?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. Theodore Gilden was...
Did you kill him? Did you kill the elephant?
It's not in the yard anymore. It escaped into the forest.
You can't let it go. What if it returns?
I highly doubt that, Miss...
Imogen Gilden. Please, I beg of you, find that dreadful beast that killed my father.
I suppose we do need to learn what happened. Can you tell me what happened? From the very start.
I was here, so I didn't see how it began. My father visits the enclosure every morning to wake up Goliath. Today, I heard the elephant scream. I've never heard such a horrifying sound. My heart stopped. I knew something was wrong. I looked through my window and saw how it lifted my father up by his neck. I rushed downstairs. I saw it dragging my father as if he were a doll. I threw stones at it. It dropped my father's body and charged outside, screaming. Its roar was almost human. I was frightened, so I ran inside and hid here.
That is a terrifying experience, Miss Gilden. I'm sorry you had to go through it.
Thank you. Goliath must be caught, Mr. Holmes.
Well, thank you for the information, Miss Gilden. I did have some questions for your father. Perhaps you might help me with them?
I wasn't privy to much of my father's life, and it's very hard to think of anything at all with Goliath still loose. Please, Mr. Holmes.
Very well. Do you mind if I ask you more questions if I find anything that might help?
Anything to catch that monster. I don't have any thoughts on this.
Had Goliath been aggressive before?
It's dangerous, but it was never aggressive near my father. My father would do anything for Goliath. All the elephant had to do was clap its ears.
You envied him, the elephant, I mean?
Our house is called the House of Ivory. I've heard some people refer to me as the Ivory Girl, and my room stinks of the animal, as if it's me who lives in a pen and not Goliath. It's not envy, Mr. Holmes. It's just incredibly difficult to live like this.
Did you observe anyone else in the yard? Any of your servants, perhaps?
Servants? Do you imagine that we would have any with Goliath? No one wishes to work in this house, even for double pay. I didn't see anyone else. Only my father and that diabolical beast.
Miss Gilden, I was on this island 10 years ago, and your father knew my mother. I believe I even had the opportunity to ride that balloon outside, but I do not recall seeing you.
I lived at my late mother's in Sheffield at the time. I'm in no spirit to reminisce right now. The elephant is out there.
You've never heard the name Violet Holmes before? Perhaps your father...
Please, Mr. Holmes. With that beast roaming free, I can't think of anything.
Very well. A commendable effort to barricade the windows. False idols? Oh, sounds utterly dreary. So idyllic. Enjoy your happily ever after before it stales. Ugh, the same dull poses on all romantic photographs. She packed as much as she could carry.
Hey, Sherry, we need to talk. You found false idols. We need to find the remaining two.
What does bazooka even mean? Would this paper be good for anything but blowing one's nose on?
They're not rubbish, Sherry. There's something more. I'm serious.
Very well. I doubt it'll be worth it, but I will find them for you, John.
You'll thank me later. They're some of the most imaginative books I've ever read.
What did you say?
Speaking aloud helps me think. These bags of yours, it looks as if you've packed your entire room. Were you planning on going somewhere?
My partner and I, we wanted a change, a fresh start abroad. But now I have to stay here. Here, an orphan.
How can you read something like this? It's hard to swallow, and that's not due to the hard cover.
You're hardly serious. Any library without Nabe and Laura is incomplete. If you can read, then these books are an absolute must. Love and adventure. They're about life.
Oh, I wasn't aware that exploding pyramids were a part of daily life on Cordona.
You haven't seen life, so you might try reading about it at least.
I found this. Who's this young lad next to you, your faithful knight?
Paul. He's my pirate. He's not really a pirate. I just call him that. It probably sounds very silly.
Your secret is safe in my hands. Does Paul work somewhere? What is his surname?
His name is Paul Perks. He and his yacht Whirlpool are the champions of the Salacia Yacht Club. He sails there. I'll show you where it is on the map if you need to meet him.
A yachting champion? Well, that will be a first. I prefer dry land. And so does my suit. Nicest spot in the room. Mr. Gilden spent hours of his life right here.
Staring at an elephant's backside. Whoa, looks eccentric and smells eccentric.
His second child, an apparent son and heir, I'd say. What's so special about this place? Another elephant? A catchy title. A partnership annulled with a single stroke of a pen. I should take a photograph of the plans. I don't want to carry them around. A relatively functional choice to replace the finger. I think Miss Gilden has barely matured. Oh, the pungent stench of an animal.
Did Theodore seek some pink elephants with this?
I think they were closer than you and me, John.
I'm hurt.
From before Mycroft was born, our family loves to prod at the past. Mother. It's nice to see her young and smiling.
Holmes's desire to rake
Quite
up the
the
past
spectrum.
is hereditary.
From the history of the Roman Empire to conspiracy theories of the French Revolution. And, which part of the elephant is in here? It's quite pungent.
Oh, that. It's elephant sweat. Father believed that it might replace traditional ambergris.
Well, that's true entrepreneur spirit. A. Swift, is this name familiar to you? Your father had it removed from this plan.
Oh, that's Arthur Swift. I've seen him a couple of times here. He works with my father in the old city, digging up something ancient.
He is an archaeologist?
That's the word, yes. But to be truthful, I really don't think Mr. Swift is fit to be one. I've just learnt a lot about archaeology from my favourite book series. Oh, they are page-turners.
Inspirational, I'm sure, but would you happen to know where this Mr. Swift might be found?
I don't, but perhaps you can find out somewhere. My father's work with him is all official. Lots of boring legal papers with signatures and stuff.
Could you help me?
That's a question I can answer.
Champions Whirlpool. Pool's bread and butter.
We can become pirates and show them what should be stored in here.
A foghorn to navigate and warn others at sea.
You should have a warning to cover your ears.
A foghorn to navigate and warn others at sea. Bloodied bandages. Has someone been hurt?
Where would a champion hide a key?
Bloodied bandages. Has someone been hurt? Is this familiar to you?
Excuse me? What? I'm not sure I know.
May I ask you something?
I can't help you with that, sir.